Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, this is the unauthorised police access to the Misson Springs Protection Camp. No, I'm not all right.
Yep.
Because you guys are invading our privacy here.
Walking on a field.
No, you're not. You're walking on our field.
Okay.
So this is, once again, it's Inspector Wilson, who somewhat embarrassed himself yesterday by his behaviour at the gate camp, at the gates.
I'm not the one who's here illegally, so I'm showing you off. Oh dear.
Well, get off then. Get back in your van.
No, I'm all right.
No, you're not all right. You're not all right at all.
This is nothing.
You guys, Notts police are becoming an embarrassment, a bigger embarrassment every day.
Absolutely.
That's your section.
No.
So,
There's a council taxpayer in Nottinghamshire.
Look at the mess you made this land, look at it all.
It's all recoverable. What about the mess they're going to make round the corner there, eh? It won't be reversible.
Two wrongs don't make a right, do they?
Hey?
Two wrongs don't make a right.
well, hang on a second.
We'll put this right.
We'll put this right.
But they won't put that right, will they, eh? It's your land, isn't it? Eh? We're on a legal section 6, and we're here as a part of the legal section 6.
Excuse me, we are now here with the landowner's implicit permission. Okay?
That's not your concern, all right? It's not your concern.
So, Inspector, next time you come back with a warrant, huh?
Yeah.
With justification,
Totally
Yeah.
unlawful, this.
right?
Disgusting behaviour.
And please check with the landowner, because we are here with the landowner's implicit permission, okay?
We have written permission to be here.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see whether that
Did you prove
predates
it?
or
Did you prove it?
postdates
Did
our
you give us written
permission.
permission before you came on? No, you didn't.
So once again, this is Nottinghamshire Police, the police force that deliberately avoids investigating systemic child abuse in the county town of Nottingham. Please check out Melanie Shaw, who's been unlawfully imprisoned now for 2 years because she's tried to expose systemic child abuse in Nottingham. And this is the police force that ignores it.
Taking this industry down, you're going to be on the wrong side of it. You just got Hillsborough. Ilford 4, the Birmingham 6. You're on the wrong side of it.
We've got a few decent magistrates left.
Folks, thank you. Thanks for your time. We shall leave you to it.
You will indeed.
Oh, wow, you know my name. You're amazing. Amazing.
And next time you come back, make sure you've got a warrant, okay? Because we are here with the landowner's implicit permission.
See you later.
Yep.
See you, yeah, thank you.
Jog on.
Yeah.
I think it's about over now. Where are you guys? Are you in Scunny, are you?
So this is Nottinghamshire Police beating a retreat, having literally just walked on the field just because they think they can.
Got your fucking arses kicked yesterday.
And
We've just came all over the field. Think we're in any caravans now, that's one thing.
so they will be leaving here. But no doubt they will try and come back. But it's just intimidatory behaviour. It's pure intimidation. Anyway, they've gone, and apparently they had a walk around the camp and were basically run off when they realised there was quite a few more of us on site than perhaps they expected. Meanwhile, let me just turn this round. I wasn't intending to do a live stream this morning. Well, I didn't, but I'm doing one now. Exactly. So basically, earlier this morning at around about 11:45 or so, once again, Nottinghamshire Police behaved with what I can only describe as gratuitous outrageousness. And there were two visitors to the Misson Springs gates. and well, there are a number actually, but two in particular, Val Marga and her husband John from East Yorkshire, and her sister Patsy, of course, who is well known to those of Frackfree Rydale and the Kirby Misperton protection community. And despite the sergeant advising his constable, PC 2727, PC Hazeman, not to effect the arrest of either Val or Patsy, he decided that he was going to do so. He was clearly on a mission. Now, goodness knows what these guys are being briefed. You know, we've heard in South Yorkshire some outrageous information about the briefing suggesting that the protectors are potentially violent, will track them down, will come to their houses, will intimidate their families. Of course, there isn't a single incident of that, and it's not likely to be, because the only intimidation is the sort of intimidation that you've just seen here right now, where the police decide that they can simply walk onto a field without a warrant, just simply claiming that they have the landowner's permission. Well, for the record, the landowner has been down here. We have been in contact with the landowner's designated legal counsel, and their response is that they have not been instructed to pursue. So consequently, we are here by implicit permission of the landholder, and of course we have committed to return the field to the condition that we found it in when we took it some 10 weeks ago now, just as we are in the process of returning the field at Kirby Misperton to its original condition. And there's a little bit more work to do there, and we'll be back there at the weekend, and hopefully a number of other people from the local community will be there to wrap up the cleansing of that field. But this is the kind of behaviour that we're seeing, and unfortunately the gratuitous arrests today, of course, have certainly not endorsed Nottinghamshire Police to any of the protection community. But as we heard last night from the custody sergeant who was applying unreasonable bail conditions to one of the arrestees the last couple of days, and he stated that he was receiving his instructions from a much higher authority. And no surprise here, obviously the police have been instructed to try to do everything they possibly can to intimidate the protection community and to prevent them from continuing what is becoming, or has become, an extremely effective disruption campaign. So in case you haven't realised it, you know, we are very much on the brink of a corporatist police state, where the police effectively do whatever it is that they are instructed to do by the corporations. And as we've seen, as you've seen on video yourselves over the last 2 days, the police are effectively IGAS's private army. Of course, we saw that in Manchester. We're seeing exactly the same behaviour here as we saw at Barton Moss. And funnily enough, we're hearing some of the same phraseology. So call it a hunch, but I would suggest that the memorandum of understanding between Nottinghamshire Police and IGAS bears a remarkable similarity to the same document that was produced in conjunction with Greater Manchester Police some 4 years ago. So it is all about numbers, and you know, had there been another half dozen even at the gate today, then it's unlikely that even PC 2727 would have felt comfortable effecting the arrests of two peaceful Jerry activist protectors. So there you go, impromptu live stream, basically an invasion of the field. The second time, of course, that they've invaded the field. First time was to facilitate the return of Shep's pallets. Calls coming through. To facilitate the return of Shep pallets. This time it was simply because they think they can. But like I said, it turns out there was more of us on site than they had thought were here, and so they were effectively escorted off the field. Anyway, thanks for joining me again, impromptu, this afternoon, and I will be back with you on Monday morning. Hopefully, as I say, people can get to Kirby Misperton to help out with the clearing of the field there, and you know, be back at the gates here at Misson Springs, this very active well site in North Nottinghamshire. So have a great weekend. I'll catch you next week.